What's going on, everybody? I figured I would just do an updated gold analysis as you know we're coming into Wednesday now, and we've basically reached our weekly target. And I kind of just want to talk about what I'm expecting, and some future trades that we might be able to have. So I know this chart's a little messy. Let's see what we can get rid of. We don't need that. Prior weekly low, we need prior weekly high, prior daily high. We have whatever the fuck this is can go. It's a no wick candle, but we took care of that. I want to get rid of all these alerts, that's for sure. Not all of them, but these higher ones that I don't think we'll see anytime soon, I'll get rid of. But yeah, hopefully you guys were able to catch that sell move with us. I know the initial sell position I sent, I know we had a stop loss, but everyone had areas to re-enter. So hopefully, we're able to see something like that. So one thing I want to point out is if we look, if you guys remember over here, right, we had this bottom, these two bottoms right here that we retested and then continued lower. That's kind of what I'm going to be expecting, for the rest of the week. We can see that just like here where you had a big bearish candle to break lower. That's exactly what we have on this daily, right? We have a big bearish candle to break lower. So I am going to be expecting further lows to be made, really, to come and attack this 1982 area, right? 83, 82. And I would really love to have a retest of that area, right? And I briefly mentioned to you guys earlier about um how what some of the confirmations that we had at that level. So first of all, that level is our 2000 key level. So that's one. Two, we have the prior weekly low. At the time that I had sent it, right, we didn't push down as far. So 38 was like right in the middle. But the third is 38. I could have sworn there was like a fourth. Let me see exactly what I messaged all of you guys. I said how we had oh yeah, prior weekly low, 38, broken support, and key level. So there's four confirmations of that level. And I really would like to take it lower. Now, while I'm on the higher time frame, I wanted to outline this buy area that we have done here at 1939, right? So obviously, as I mentioned in the weekly forecast, I was expecting us to target down here this area of support that we have from this very big wide range that we had right here, right? We had this area, which was we had this area right here, which we can see after we broke above it, we used that as support. Then we're breaking into it and using it as resistance. So I'm expecting us to kind of have this whole entire range open again. Um, and I would really love to see us come down to the bottom of it, right? So if we do end up breaking this consolidation or not breaking this prior consolidation zone, right? Because right now we could just have major bearish. But if we are able to break those lows, we'll call it 1970, 69. I am going to be expecting us to come towards that 1940 level where we can expect some kind of a retracement. If we use this shorter term fib, we can see we have 50% there. If we use the long term, we can see we probably have absolutely nothing because it's such a long term. So yeah, I definitely want to keep note of that. So that's really all I see here on the daily. I have a new daily sell. Well, I should have a new daily sell level, but if you look at the open as 1503, 1501 as the weekly, you can really just keep that there. You could have an alert there. Who cares, right? In terms of this daily trend line that I have, right? So if you guys have been keeping up with my videos, we had this long-term trend line. Then we had this one that came from here to this area. which is what we broke. And I said, all right, we'll look for that retest of that trend line and the sell. And that's what we had, right? So that's why they're not there anymore, right? This one's not there. So that can also be another confirmation for why this, go call it 20 to 40 area. I know it's a 40, 20, $20 range, but that's the truth, right? Because say that we hit it, say that we come down there on Friday, right? Friday at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock's right here, would have you bounce off right here, right? So just in general, that area, if we break this trend line, like, okay, we have broken it, but if we're able to retest it nicely, sort of like what happened here, I would be expecting us to come down towards 80. So we had this 4 hour level that played out. Let's get rid of that. We towards 82. And then this area where we have 1, 2, 3, 4 wick rejections. So we have a lot of liquidity here from buyers. So that would be an area that we would come to and look to take profit. And then ideally come lower towards that 1940 level. If that ends up breaking, I'm really going to see us come for this gap here at 1870s. If that breaks, I'll be looking for maybe 61. So 61 would be 1800, 38 is at 1900. So we have a lot in the way. That's a big ass analysis. But basically what I'm trying to say here today for this next couple days is we should really be watching for the retest of that level that I mentioned, right? We should be looking for a pullback towards the prior weekly high, this support that was broken, make it resistance, the key level, and then look for that sell down to collect this liquidity. And then from there, you'll probably get a big bullish push, right? Ideally, what we want is no higher than, if we get this would be a lower high. We don't want to break that lower high. If we do, we need to reevaluate. But ideally, I'd like to see us come back towards this current lows that we have, right? So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be looking for. I really just wanted to get the words out there for you guys, help you guys understand exactly what I'm looking at, why I'm looking at it. But so far we've had a great week. Excuse me, I have this 4 hour level of supply marked up, which when we had that news, it tapped into it. However, like I didn't send anything to you guys. We technically have like a 1 hour level here, but it's covering both of them. So it's like, who really cares? I'm not going to mark that up because I don't really want us to come up, that high, right? It's 100% fine if we do come up all the way towards 61, 2008, but I wouldn't really want to use this level. I don't really like that, how big that candle is. It just makes it weird, right? I'd want to look for, I like the smaller candles, right? So like on the 4 hour, you have a nice small candle which broke you down. The main reason why I didn't really have it marked up in time of news is when I'm trading supply and demand, I really like that area, supply or demand, to have made a new high or a new low. We didn't make it until we had this candle here, which really said, all right, well, there's supply there. So that's why I still have that marked up. It is the weekly sell level, in fact, right? So what I'm basically saying is, when we talk about you look for those levels and for a retest and then sell, that's that. If you like order blocks, you can say that we have an order block, a daily order block that was just created too. I'm not big on them, but I will mark it up only because it's order block. It is this 20 MA EMA, and it is 61%, if I didn't say that, right? In terms of these EMAs, the way I've been trading them recently, I've been working with I believe it's a 12 and 20, no, 8 and 20, right? If your higher is above your lower, you're bullish. If your lower is below your higher, you're bearish, right? So you can see that, we're trading sideways here, and then you cross over, you show you're bearish. We retested that all Friday and Monday, right? So that's one main reason why I was still bearish. If we would have seen price action that, We had this, we would have wanted a higher high to be made, retest that, and that's where I would have got a buy. We didn't get that, but just something quick to explain to you guys. So ideally what we're gonna, like I mentioned, just to recap, is this pullback and then a sell, right? Where we then would be looking, I would look to put my stop loss above that 4-hour level. So depending on where it is, it could be starting off 90 pips, which, if I'm going to be honest, like, that's fine, right? We have sufficient risk to reward. And really, you'd be able to tighten it up pretty soon. And ideally, I really would love for us to take this liquidity and then want further, right? Even if we don't get that 39, like, say we just come back towards our 1950 key level, because if you do retest 2000 after breaking below it and you reject that 2000, everything tells you you're going to come for 2050 key level. And if you look, we have a 4-hour level that is right here. We'll mark that up for you guys. 4-hour level, and that happens to be 1953. But yeah, I really wanted to keep this shorter than it was, but here we are, however, 10 minutes in. So yeah, I'm going to look to do a live tomorrow. Hopefully we get some good price action. And hopefully we don't see a fat move in Asian in London, because I'm trying to not trade that at all, because it is not something that I really want to stay in the habit of. I really don't like to place trades and then go to sleep, and when I trade Asian or London, unless it's an early Asian entry, more often than not, I'm falling asleep during the trade, and then you're completely unable to do anything. But yeah, hopefully this helped you guys out with a little bit of knowledge and just understanding what I'm looking for. US 30, I'll just look at it real quick. US 30, like, ended up breaking this small little wedge I had, but I'll be honest with y'all, like, I did not have any kind of reason for me to enter. I tried to look for things, but I didn't have anything. Now my chart is really just looking kind of ugly, so I'm just going to get rid of it. I'll do a quick little analysis for you guys, right? We have broken the prior weekly low, which is nice to see. So if we can retest that tomorrow, that would be amazing. And then we could possibly snag some sells with that. But at the end of the day, we're not here to rush trades. We're not here to get into every single trade, right? You want valid entries. That way you have good, consistent profits, stuff that you can easily replicate, whenever you have the opportunity. So we can see that we were hugging this 38 for what you could consider 3 weeks if you count this. Actually, probably would have been 3 weeks, because maybe not. About 2 weeks we hugged it. We're breaking below it. So if that is the case, I would love to come and attack this 61 level, which you can see in the past we have grabs off there too. So we'll just have that marked up with a little 6-1 inside of there. I know I'm doing this all over for you guys again. Chart was messy. Sometimes you got to do that. You got a little weekly trend line you can put there. I know we had a lot more trend lines. I'm not worried about them right now. And then just because I'm gonna put that final weekly sell there, just to have it, right? Going down to the daily to see what we have. So we see the same kind of thing that we had with gold, where you kind of left an order block, which I'm not the biggest fan of. You do have a daily sell level there. So, oh my goodness, here I go with those alerts again. Let me get rid of all of them and put the ones that matter. Right. So I personally don't think that prior weekly low break is going to hold. I think we're definitely going to come above it. And I mean, it's only 80 pips away. So put an alert there, put an alert at the daily level. Nothing else for me to look at. You can see that we do have a zone of demand here that's covered by this 61 area. So another reason for us to go there. On 4-hour, I do see a supply zone that I like right here, because we have not tested it yet. I don't believe. No, we haven't. We came close. I was hoping for that. So you could add another alert there, right? I do the prior lower high, right? Not the area that you started the move, which gives us a 6-1 in that area. It gives you a 38 at the bottom, or a little bit into the top of that support resistance. Um, yeah, not much to really see. I would basically be saying the same. Um, oops. I'd basically be looking for just about the same thing that we're looking for on gold, which would be oh wow, a pullback towards that. First would be that prior weekly low area and then a sell, which I'm gonna be honest, like I would never trade this in London or Asian. So we might end up just grinding higher towards that bottom end of that supply zone, right? But ideally, my goal is going to be to break these prior lows that we have right here, and be able to head towards that bigger 61% area that I would like to see. Now, if you look, this the EMAs I have are really meant for like day trading, and you can see they are honestly very nice. Obviously, you're not going to be able to take every single entry that we have, but if you look, right, you have your lower cross above your higher saying you're bullish, right? Then here you have your lower cross below telling you you're bearish. You pull back, you retest the fuck out of it. The whole time you're still below it. So it really just helps you with the bearish or bullish confirmation. It's not necessarily going to give you entries, right? From my experience with this 20 and 8 8 or 12 20 and 8 EMA is you do get a lot of decent signals on gold with that, right? But you always want that to match up with something with another confirmations that you have, and there's even some times here where it's like, look, you crossed above it, you went bullish, you didn't break those highs, you consolidate, you have a hard drop, then you just stay sideways. When I say more confirmations, like were you at some kind of a fib right there that you would have wanted to sell? You could say 6-1. You could say, liquidity grab at 8:30 with that news. You could say 9:30. 9:30. You just tested that high and didn't. There's a lot of things you could have said. But I'm just basically trying to outline that. Like I've really just been using the EMAs to help confirm my directional bias. That way I don't get stuck in a shitty trade. But yeah, this was a lot longer than I had wanted it to be because I feel some of you guys don't watch like a 20-minute video. So I'm going to end it here. Like I said, I'm looking to go live tomorrow. Hopefully we get some decent price action. That way I'm able to. And I'll see you guys then.